Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're having a good morning. Ah, Luna and I are, and I hope you are too. So, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Took Luna on a nice walk. Nice day today. It's a little overcast, and we're expecting a little rain, which is always good for Texas. But the long run of it is that we're hoping it's going to be a nice, normal winter here in Texas, which means temperatures in the 50s to 60s, which is more of our normal winter. Well, sure we'll get another cool patch somewhere, but that'll be later. Anyways, let me have a drink, sip before I go too much, and I'm going to talk about GPT. So I mentioned a while back I was using the AI program, open sourced chatbot or ChatGPT, and told you my experiences with it, and it was encouraging. So I used it again, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit about what happened. So I'm working on a program, and I have some information that's in an Excel spreadsheet, and that information I wanted to pull it in to my project and use it for creating an in-sync web application to what was in the spreadsheet. So that's basically it. Well, let me tell you a little more to make it sense. The spreadsheet has uh, user readable words that are, oh crap, she dropped it. Dropped it, so it went under the table here. All right. Need to make it so it doesn't roll off as easily. Uh, so anyways, so what I do is I take the uh, user-friendly text and replace in my reports and stuff like that, the stuff that's generated automatically. And that makes it more readable, useful to those that are looking at it. And that's my intent. So, um, the, oh, excuse me. So it was pulled up the chat bot. It's not a chat bot, the AI program. And I told it what basically the basic information. And then I said to it, hey, can you create a program for me that will pull in that Excel spreadsheet, and then so that I can use the information? And it said, sure. And it created a program for me. Now, the big advantage to that is because a lot of times you can find stuff like that online. But then I asked it, now that you've done that, oh, the key thing was I was able to say things like, this is my programming language, this is my criteria, some stuff, basic information about what I want the program to be like. So it plugged in pretty seamlessly into my environment. The next part was a little more interesting. So now that I have this program, I like to use a certain format of testing and a certain type of testing. And I asked it to create a test program that would test the code it created. And so it did that for me. Okay. Ow. Hurt my back a little bit that time. Anyway, um, so got all that stuff and I put it in my program. And I got a strange error saying file not found. So didn't work out of the box. Had a very odd failure. And it wasn't like I threw an exception. It was more like what they call a runtime error. It threw this weird problem, but only when you tried to actually execute the program. It wouldn't do it. Didn't the unit testing didn't do it, and the other stuff didn't do it. So I started looking into it, and what happened was that there are two ways to open that Excel spreadsheet. One is using a NuGet, and that's what the AI bot recommended I use. And that error that was coming up seems to be related to using that NuGet. The other option is using something called a COMS package, COM, and it's an older style interface. So I was like, shouldn't the newer stuff work better? Isn't, that's where you usually think of programming is you want to use the latest because it's less likely to go away. Uh, Usually you create new stuff if it's not better and more supported and optimized. So I was like, well, why can't the new stuff work? So I searched some more, I got the same response. Search some more, same response. So I got a total of three different programmers who had experienced the same issue, on the comms, problem was solved. Then I went and found a site from Microsoft that was right around the framework I was using. I'm using the latest framework. It's called a Core framework. It's one of their newer frameworks. And Microsoft recommended not using the NuGet and just using the Comms pack. So three three people and Microsoft all said, get rid of the NuGet, get the Comms package. So I put in the Comms package and it worked. There was one other minor issue. It had to do with uh, casting the data correctly, and I was able to fix that. So, two issues with the code that it gave me, which isn't bad. You usually run into at least a couple of issues when you bring code over from another application or find a sample somewhere of somebody that did something similar. Um, so that wasn't too bad. The best part about it was the unit test, which also used the NuGet, and I switched it for the comms. It worked really well. I made some modifications to it to test more exactly what I wanted to test and gave it data that was more relevant to what I needed from the spreadsheet. But after I got that all set up, that worked really well too. So overall, pretty nice. Worked out pretty well. So the um summary is it wasn't perfect, but it was beneficial. I'm going to be doing some website design here in a little bit, and I am rusty when it comes to website stuff, and so is the people I work with. We're really dominated by a bunch of back-end people. We have some really good website people, but it's a limited set and they're harder to get a hold of. So I want to be able to make some progress without them and maybe bring them in later to do some reviews and help me through the rough spots. So that maybe some optimization. And I'm probably going to use ChatGPT to help me start the flow, start going in the right direction. So what can I say? This looks like a very useful tool. Now, I think there's a lot of fear about how fast will it grow? How fast will it get better? You know, I've always felt like it's stuff like this is just going to make life better for everybody. And I like life being better for everybody, especially my puppy dog. So, what can I say? I like it. Okay, so that's everything I wanted to tell you about ChatGPT. And I feel like that was a good example of where it's got its limitations still. And it's still got a lot of limitations as far as you can't give it like the entire project. You have to define things into a box that it can understand and then help you with. But I'm sure that box will get bigger over time. But I just wanted to share that. And as you can tell, Luna is enjoying the day very much. So I'm probably going to be throwing a ball quite a bit today. Um, my wife's going to have some minor surgery uh, today. So I'm sure she'll want some comforting. My, my wife and my dog. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoy your morning. We'll talk to you later.